For more on this, I'm joined from Ramallah by Dr. Sabri Saidam, Deputy Secretary General of the Fatah Central Committee. Doctor, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us. First of all, why have Hamas accepted the 60-day ceasefire deal now after rejecting a very similar proposal previously?
Well, let me say that we don't know the final version of the proposal. We have heard, from different sources, conflicting pieces of components that make up the proposal. So it's hard to finalize in our minds, what would the proposal be? But rather, I would say Hamas has had two matters of concern, as they were. One is the proposal itself that was continually refined. Number two was the plans of Israel to widen the scope of operation on the ground, meaning that more people will be displaced, and that will definitely affect the popularity of Hamas stance, and also would throw in a number of questions as to what would be the credibility of continuing without any let-up in the fight if there was to be a total elimination of Palestinian infrastructure, the total elimination of Palestinian demography over Gaza, and total elimination of the entire concept and project of Palestine to be as a full-fledged state. So I think pressure was mounting on Hamas, and that's what led to expediting the process of refining, as we hear, the proposal so that it has been accepted, as it were.
And also, I just want to speak to you, on the other side of this is the release of Palestinian prisoners, part of this deal that we are seeing pieces of. Have there been discussions about the release of Marwan Barghouti, and is he actually a member of Fatah?
Yeah, definitely. He's a member of the Central Committee of Fatah. He's my colleague in that committee. That is known to everyone. So I would say Marwan is at the center of attention, and that's why Ben Gvir has chosen him as the address to send the message through to the Palestinian people at large. Now, nevertheless, everybody is concerned about the well-being of Marwan. So is the case of concern over the whole load of prisoners in Israeli prisons. Now, again, that takes me to the point in answer to your point, with regards to the final proposal, which has not been in any way released officially to media, and one wouldn't know what would be the case related to Marwan and others. Moreover, the number of Palestinian prisoners to be released, as they were, has not been identified. So I would say hundreds, maybe thousands, remains to be seen. But let's take you back to day number one, when Hamas, through in the 7th of October operation, it has promised the Palestinian people to release the Palestinian prisoners at large. How many would be released? As I said, remains to be seen.
And also, according to the proposal, as you said, it's difficult to know the detail, but it is saying 10 Israeli hostages will be returned along with the bodies of 18 others, and that is over 60 days. Should Hamas release all the hostages and end the war?
Well, we in Fatah have been saying, we are in favor of a comprehensive arrangement whereby there's no let-up in the fight and then a resumption of it. We have seen this back in February, March, and we have seen the devastation that has been dominating the scene, as it were. So we have been in favor of a comprehensive deal. But to be honest with you, since this is ongoing and there's been so many proposals, it's hard to finalize, it's hard to put your finger on a proposal that is acceptable to all. So even at this time, when there seems to be a proposal that is being accepted by Hamas and accepted by Israel, it's highly unlikely that it will go through if Netanyahu is unhappy with it. So you never know, maybe things will fall apart. We in Fatah are in favor of any agreement that leads towards the saving of lives, leads towards saving of what remains of Gaza, and certainly allows the resumption of work of the Palestinian Authority, whereby it can engage in the immediate process of reconstruction, the influx of aid into Gaza, and the support of our people who have been in dire need for aid and support since they have been caught in this madness for the last 2 years.
And Doctor, has the US taken enough action to end the war and support the people of Palestine?
I think you asked me a question that you know the answer for. Definitely not. I think Trump has been encouraging Netanyahu, and Netanyahu has been pressing Trump as well to go ahead with the operation. And I'm not sure if Netanyahu will accept the proposal, as it were, since he is fixated on the idea of eliminating Palestinian presence on the geography of the Palestinian state to be. So, as you know, from day one, he had spoken about the displacement of Palestinians. If anything, his ministers have been talking about a nuclear bomb in Gaza, if you recall, at the outset of this war. So there's been always the concept of displacing and expelling Palestinians and changing the fate of the Middle East vis-a-vis the resurrection of the concept of the Riviera, or maybe annexing the whole of Gaza. It's always been up in the air, and also on the cards of Netanyahu, especially the fact that the West Bank is suffering the same fate, although Gaza, given the intensity of bombardment, intensity of the operation, is taking the whole limelight away from the West Bank. But what's happening in the West Bank is certainly equivalent to what's happening in Gaza. So Netanyahu's idea is not to calm the war, but rather to ignite it further, as it were.
And I'd just like to say, Dr. Sabri Saidam, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on the show and your